Hey guys, welcome back. All right, so this is going to be a today's topic reading, and this is for the 8th of December. Okay, so this is coming out later than usual. Normally, these break at midnight, 24 hours in advance, but obviously, yes, I got a little off track. So here we go. So I did a pre-shuffle on this one, and because I like to use, if I'm starting with a deck that I'm unfamiliar with, I always do a pre-shuffle so I can read up on the card for you first. And by the way, you guys, just so you know, you can always enter to win a free read with me. I do at least one free giveaway every week. And just FYI, if there's scammers and spammers out there, please know I've never sold a reading. I don't sell my readings ever, ever, ever. So if anybody ever tries to come at you and, pretend that they're me, that's how you know it's not, because I don't sell my readings, never have. So please be aware of that, okay? So we have card number 43, and this is a card that is all about someone who is, well, I'm going to go ahead and be a little blunt here. Someone who, it's a lot of illusions and delusions. It's someone who, in this case, is spending time all by themselves, and they are feeding themselves a storyline of how things are. And in the storyline, they basically create something where it's what they want to see. So, we see all these picture frames like hanging indoors. It's all of this is like they only construct exactly what they personally want to see. They're not even looking outdoors, right? They're not seeing any other point of view or any other perspective. They only reflect back to themselves exactly what they want to hear. They, listen to things that tell them the narrative that they want to hear. So there's no objectivity here, right? There's nobody that is like, let me consider this point of view. Let me consider that. It's all like, this is how it is. This is how it is. This is how it is. And it's always, this can keep somebody pretty lonely also. Now, I want to put a softer edge on this, because sometimes we can tell ourselves a storyline where, well, I'm better off alone. I'm very happy alone. There's not anybody out there for me anyway, which is why I'm just happy right here in my house, the way it is, day to day. And that is wonderful. And we like reassure ourselves of this over and over again, when in fact that may not be entirely true. There may be way more wonderful things to do just outside of this room, but if we don't go outside and experience, we don't know about it. So sometimes it's like a reassurance that right where I am is just right where I want to be. But when we have no comparison to make next to that, to say, okay, but what if I changed something? What if I, maybe I think that banana pudding is the best thing in the world. There isn't a better dessert than banana pudding. But if all you have every day is banana pudding, you go, this is the best thing in the world. You don't know what other pudding flavors are out there. You don't know that there are cinnamon rolls. You don't know that there are all kinds of other delicious items. I always try to use something light and fluffy as an example, right? But this is somebody who, they are telling themselves the narrative over and over again that they have constructed. We have the Lovers, and we have the Knight of Swords. So this can be a scenario where someone is telling themselves the story that they are the one that somebody is wanting to rush back to, and that perhaps is not true, because there is no evidence. They're not allowing evidence to come in that is contrary to that. They may be telling themselves that, this is going to be the way it goes. It's going to be my story, and I'm going to be chosen, and that's what this is all about. We have the Fool card in the reverse. But this might be because somebody doesn't want to take a step out and go meet somebody else. They don't want to give themselves opportunity to go out. They want the situation to come back around that they already knew. And that may not be in anybody's best interest. This could be somebody who is sure that you are going to come back to them, come knocking on their door. They could be waiting for you. You could be waiting for them. Whoever this is, this represents a character in a story who is sure that someone is coming back in rapidly even. But the other side of this is that someone doesn't actually want to give anything else a try. So they just want what they already knew to return. This could be somebody who is sure that any day someone is going to tell them a story of, this is how it is. I want this. We have this Two of Pentacles here in the reverse. So the Fool card in the reverse, Two of Pentacles in the reverse. Someone is not being very flexible. They are absolutely like, I'm not changing my opinion. This is what it's going to be. This is, and on one hand, when you talk about manifesting, we talk a lot about, having an idea of what we want. Eight of Cups in the reverse. This is like so much of like, absolutely, this is what's coming back around. This is what is coming back in. I'm not going to go out and allow my thoughts to even entertain any other possibility, because this is what needs to happen. Now, that is not always what needs to happen. Let's see. Where is this taking us? What is the counter point? In fact, let me change this. Let me take this deck and say, what does the universe have to say about this? What is the universe? Well, two cards immediately. Universe says Strength card in the reverse, Ace of Staves in the upright. Okay, so this is a message where the universe is saying, now wait, are we really being strong enough to say what we really want? Because this is kind of like being afraid of the unknown, afraid of going after the unknown. This could be the same person who's telling themselves, no, this thing that I've already experienced is what has to come back in, because that's how it's going to be. That's what I want. That's the best for me. And that's why I want that. I know that it's coming back because that is in my greatest and highest good. But this says, now wait, are we afraid to allow ourselves to look into the next potentially really exciting, phase of life that is unknown? Because this is like, this is some fear of the unknown, and the unknown could be so much better. Like I said, the banana pudding might not be the best thing. Sometimes we get stuck on an idea thinking it is the best, therefore that is what we want, and that is always what we're going to want. And yet this would say, wait, let's be more objective, and let's ask ourselves, how do we know that's the best for us? The Sphinx is the great mystery. There's so much more to solve. There's so much more to experience. There's so much more yet unexplained. There's so many more people we've never met. There's so many more adventures to have. But if we stay in one room and we say, no, I want that to come back. I'm going to sit right here in this room, and this is where I shall be when this thing that I've decided is going to be mine. That is what comes back, and I'm not changing. I am just going to wait here for it to come back. I'm positive it's coming back. This says that there are other adventures that need to be had, even if that thing is going to come back. With that Ace of Staves, that Sphinx, it looks to me, we've got the King of Sacred Circles in the reverse, and we have the World in the reverse. There are cycles that are not completed. Okay, let me explain it this way. Even if this person is spot on, and it's absolutely, they feel it in their bones, I know that there is something that is coming back around in my life. I sense it, I feel it. That is how it's going to be. Even if that part may be what they believe to the core of their being, it does not mean that they sit in one room and wait for it to show back up. Not when there's all these other mysteries to still be examined in life. So right now, they might be missing out on some other phases of growth, some other experiences that they need to have, and actually slowing down the progress of something coming full circle. because this is stubborn and this is a lack of growth. There may be other situations, other experiences that one needs to experience, needs to have to really explore. I mean, look at how big the world is. Both of these cards talk about how big our life is. Our life is huge. Our lifespan is huge. The minutes, the years, the time that we get on this incredible planet is so huge. We'll never be able to explore the whole world, right? Nobody has enough time in their life to go and seek every area of the globe and every piece of knowledge that you could absorb and every mystery that you could work to solve and every adventure you could have. We'll never get a chance to do it all, which is why the time that we do have, we mustn't spend locked in a room telling ourselves, I'm waiting for that thing, that my next dose of banana pudding to come back because that is what I like. That is the best thing in the world for me. We might be missing out on amazing other experiences. Now, again, does not mean that all this cannot still be exactly what is coming back in for us. But this says the world is in the reverse, meaning we haven't completed an experience, a phase of learning. There is more to be done right now. We're not actually ready for that next phase. We're supposed to be expanding and exploring within our current terrain. It's very hard to do if we stay in one room. We do want to learn more about our environment, about the world that we're in, about the phase of our life that we're in this story. Now, let me remind you, these are only stories. But this says you don't have to surrender anything in order to be able to expand. But if we sit in one energy, one spot, and we focus on one thing day after day after day, that's where we are narrowing our world, and we might be missing out on all of these other pieces of adventure. And this fear, it's like we're almost afraid, because what if there is something better out there? It becomes scary, like, but what if I look and I explore and I discover more exciting things? What if? I mean, that could be amazing, right? But right now we have a lack of growth because we're resisting something at the moment. So this is really right now, as I see it, it's a reading that challenges, the story challenges a character to step beyond even what they are positive they want for themselves. If what they want is not showing up yet, this is like, we don't just sit in one room and wait for what we want to come back around. We have to keep exploring and using our life for all those adventures and all of those other like expansive experiences that we are here to have. And yes, there may be incredible other adventures and passions and maybe even other people that we're going to meet that we never could have met otherwise. So we have a Leo energy, we have a Capricorn energy. I like this because it is not challenging anything other than, are we getting the most out of our energy? Are we holding back, exploring other avenues because we keep focusing on the one thing that we want to come back in and into our lives? Because, you know, judgment in the reverse. Okay, birds are migratory creatures anyway. Birds do come back around, right? They summer here, they winter there. Now, if we expand that idea and say certain things might come back into our life in a different time period, just like this world card, it's all about the revolution, right? The movement, the evolving, the rotation of the earth. So things do come back around, but we might be bogging it down because we are resisting that natural turning that needs to be allowed to happen. We evolve, other people evolve, situations evolve, but if we stay locked in one room, we don't evolve at all. We don't expand our minds, we don't expand our friend group, we don't expand anything. And then it can just, well, it can get us a little stuck. It's like listening to the same song on the same record and wearing out the record, right? This Judgment card in the reverse, this is all about not wanting to just have an echo of something, but wanting to leap into the next phase of life. Like, why have an echo of something when you could go through a portal and have a brand new experience? So when we release ourselves from the desire to have the exact same thing come back around and have a do-over exactly like it was, it gets more exciting. Now we go through a portal instead of listening for an echo. Personally, I'll take the portal over the echo for sure. That sounds like way more fun. We don't quite know what'll happen next, but and when we talk, and I'm saying an echo because as you can see, we actually have this exact thing. This, like, her bed is here, and then what we see is the exact same room with her bed in it again and again and again and again. It's almost like echoes get distorted, right? So definitely, why do we just want a repeat of something that's a repeat of something that's a repeat of something that's a repeat of something? It gets more distorted every time. Instead, maybe we release that entirely and we jump through this portal. So there's I feel like this is that storyline where somebody is actually like going, wait a second, I have so much to do right now. Maybe this is going to come back around to me. But in the meantime, I don't wait for anything because I've got these adventures. I have got all this ahead of me. This is like, if somebody is currently single, oh man, there's so many things you can do when you're single that are a little harder to do when you're, with another person. I mean, there's lots of like, if you want to go like, I mean, I guess you can do anything as a couple, but if you have very specific hobbies, you really like rock climbing, and even the partner that you have in your mind never liked rock climbing, this maybe is a great time to join that rock climbing club and go out on all those weekends and, never worry that you're leaving your partner in the dust because you're single. You got all the time to go rock climbing. Maybe that partner does come back around at some point, but in the meantime, you get to climb all those rocks you can kind of find. So it becomes like an adventure, and it's kind of a nice reading because it's freeing oneself to enjoy everything around you, not necessarily having to surrender anything other than setting oneself free to enjoy right where you are. I guess there is a surrendering that things need to come back in exactly the way they were, because nothing is the same way it was, right? The turning of the world means, seasons change, landscapes change, rivers cut new beds, in the earth. We age, we blossom, we grow, we morph into new versions of ourselves all the time, particularly when we bring in new ideas. We flood ourselves with new experiences, and now we have new perspectives on life and on ourselves. That is what this whole reading is about, is being wary that we are not, or doing a check maybe to make sure that we're not sitting saying, I want this exact thing to come back in. Because the truth is, we never want the exact thing, because we're not the exact same person. I am not the same person today that I was yesterday. I'm a little older today. Maybe I've learned a few new things. Maybe I've thought a few new thoughts. And without me even recognizing it, I have subtly started to change into the me that I will start to become tomorrow. So none of us are exactly the same, no matter what. So why would we want the exact same thing to pop back into our lives? We don't. We free ourselves from that idea. This is a very unique reading. I think it's beautiful. I think it's super, it's like an evolutionary read. And that's probably what I will refer to this as. Okay, so what happens here? Because I'm all intrigued. I'm digging this. This is so freeing. This is so, I feel like I can breathe. I feel like it's 10 of Pentacles. Okay, so what happens? Possibly brand new soul group, possibly way more friends come into somebody's life, possibly way more abundance, possibly creating a network. So you sacrifice nothing. All you do is you add to your life. So she already has this wonderful location that our main character is in, right? It's luxurious, it's beautiful, but she adds to it. The Ten of Pentacles is about increasing abundance, it's not about detracting. This is increasing knowledge. This is increasing satisfaction. This is increasing in family members. This is increasing in friendships. This is increasing in any area of your life. It's all about you're adding to your life. You're never detracting. You're not waiting for anything. You're adding to your experience. You're adding to the richness of your world. Okay, hold on. I don't know what this card is, but so it didn't pop out. But I was concerned that I have very limited space right now. And I was concerned that I wasn't doing a good enough shuffle because I have these other cards that are up on end. So I'm just going to make note of it. This is swift change. This is Loki. Loki is the god of chaos. This is the Knight of Swords. Now, granted, it didn't actually come out, so I'm not taking it, but I'm making note of it. Okay. So hold on. I'm gonna shuffle this way so I can not feel like I am possibly like stunting the movement of the cards. Really. Funny how when we flow, when we bring new oxygen in, when we bring an influx of newness in, it's pretty wild, but that might also actually bring this past back, or it brings in a sense of, instead of the echo that we talked about with that other judgment card, this is like after the flood. This is like the biblical flood, the Noah's Ark flood. And as the flood waters are receding and the earth is visible again, we have, well, in this case, I always look at this as people like hanging out doing acro yoga. I feel like if somebody comes back into your world a little bit later, what they find is all that abundance, all of the additions, all of the wonderful things that you've added into your life. Maybe you were all into acro yoga. Maybe it wasn't rock climbing, but they find you in a place where you are super happy. Like you've not just weathered whatever storms you've encountered. You've actually developed more. You're the best version of yourself. Maybe you're the most like healthy version of yourself. So if something shows back up, I just feel like this is where, if there's going to be a renewal, if there's going to be something that can begin again, it begins on the most satisfying footing because you're already a 10 of Pentacles. You have everything that you need. You are so completely abundant. And now if something pops back into your world, it's like, oh, wow. This makes it a lot easier to maybe forgive, to reconcile. And sometimes that just means a handshake. Sometimes it's not about let's get together. Sometimes it's all, this time it's about 9 of Cups. It's also about the 6 of Wands. Look, I have to say, the way I see this, if something from the past does show back up, your life is rocking. It is so incredible already. There is an element where you'll be able to choose wisely. Does this person belong in your happy world? Because you're really proud of yourself and what you've accomplished and the lifestyle that you've chosen and how you've expanded and the happiness that you have. So it'll be way easier to decide, does this person belong in your new, very happy life? They may or may not, but this looks really nice. This actually looks very, like that reconciliation actually feels really good. Bringing something into your life feels really happy, but it also feels really good for 6 of Cups. I'm telling you, this is amazing. It's almost like I had one other reading like this where I said, wow, it's like, enjoy your time being single right now, because if you have a soulmate returning, the soulmate that you have thought all along, like I totally say that this is coming back in. If that is coming back in, by the time it does, you have expanded your empire. You have built so much. And it's like, oh my God, yeah, I knew you were coming, but let me show you what I've been up to. This is like really loving every aspect of your life, loving your single life every bit as much as loving your life with a partner. This is a really powerful, really potent message because, I mean, it could be a totally different person just because we see that judgment card. The judgment card did come up twice, once in the reverse, once in the upright. Maybe it's somebody different also from your past. Sometimes life can surprise us. Sometimes the one that we think it is actually just a little to the left of that is the right match. It all kind of depends on how we morph and grow and change. But this whole reading is all about allowing ourselves to just totally love right where we are right now, particularly if we're single, particularly if we are like nothing should slow down our growth and our adventures in, exploring this beautiful life we've been gifted. That's kind of what I get out of this reading. This is beautiful. I will definitely call this the, it's like the evolving, life kind of reading where everything continuously is expanding. It's very nice to see. All right, you guys, mwah, lots of love. Bye.